Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Clay, and I am the Bucks believer. In yesterday's video, I speculated that the Milwaukee Bucks may sign Thanasis Antetokounmpo to a guaranteed contract for next season very soon. This morning, they did just that, inking Antetokounmpo to a 2-year deal that will keep the energetic end-of-the-bench player in Milwaukee for the foreseeable future. Obviously, Thanasis is most well known for being the older brother of Bucks superstar Giannis Antetokounmpo, but I think that was not the only reason why the Bucks were interested in keeping Thanasty long term. Last year, Thanasis became a solid back end of the rotation player during the regular season because of his hustle, defense, and energy. Every time Thanasis is on the court, he plays as hard as he possibly can, and that has led to him becoming a pretty solid and disruptive off-the-ball defender. Over the course of his career, he's posted a 2.0% steal rate and a 1.5% block rate. He's constantly able to jump passing lanes and disrupt the opposing offense's flow, leading to his team getting out in transition, where Thanasis is a very solid finisher. Thanasis is also a solid on-ball defender who's capable of guarding the shooting guard, small forward, and power forward positions at a high level. He can also switch onto some point guards because of his decent lateral quickness, and some centers because he's pretty strong for being just 6'7". Thanasis' only struggle on defense is his fouling. Last year, he fouled 4.8 times per 36 minutes, and in order for him to be a viable rotation option in the playoffs, he has to bring that rate down significantly. Additionally, Thanasis must improve his offense. He's one of the worst shooters in the entire NBA, knocking down just 24.1% of his three-pointers last year and 51% of his free throws. Have you thought that Giannis was a poor shooter? His brother is even worse. So for Thanasis to reach the Bucks playoff rotation, he definitely has to knock down shots at a higher rate. In my opinion, Thanasis is actually best off as a small ball five-man, as he's someone who's capable of switching both up and down the lineup, and he's also a very solid rebounder despite being just 6'7", because he plays so hard and has a great nose for the basketball, constantly going after it every single time that it's loose. Additionally, if Thanasis is playing center, that means that he can just stand in the dunker spot instead of being out on the perimeter where no defender will respect him because he's such a poor jump shooter. Thanasis also will have the ball in his hands less if he's playing center, which is certainly good because he's not a very good decision maker when handling the ball, posting a pretty rough 21.3% turnover rate last season. Overall, Thanasis is a solid energy guy who's not going to play for you in important moments, but who certainly can eat some innings during the regular season. The biggest reason why the Bucks kept him around is for his energy and excitement, and he's become a bit of a totem for the city of Milwaukee over the past few years, and is certainly one of the favorites among fans. Another reason why this is a significant signing for the Bucks is that they now have 16 players signed to contracts for next season. During the offseason, that's fine, as you're allowed to have 20 players under contract, but once the season does roll around, the Bucks will have to limit themselves to just 15 players under contract. That means they're going to have to cut one player. There are two primary options for this being this casualty. Those guys would be Elijah Bryant and Mamadi Diakite, who are both on non-guaranteed deals for next season. I think the Bucks would be more likely to cut Diakite, as they could then sign him to a two-way contract, keeping him in the organization as a developmental prospect. I could also see them keeping Diakite on the guaranteed contract for next year, as he could then potentially become a back end of the rotation player for them, which would be important considering they are lacking at the 4 and 5 positions. In Bryant, the Bucks have a decent backup guard, but he hasn't had a chance to show his stuff too much so far in the NBA, as he was just signed at the end of last year's regular season. So I don't really have an opinion on who I think the Bucks should cut. I think that either player would be solid to keep around on the 15-man roster for next season, but in general, I probably would lean towards Bryant, as he's shown a bit more NBA readiness at this point in his career. Overall, this is a very fun signing for the Bucks. It's not a game changer in any sort, but it does keep the Antetokounmpo bros together for another 2 seasons, which is definitely a positive, as they are two of the more fun tandems to watch in the entire NBA, even if Thanasis isn't a superstar player. Thank you for watching today's video. I hope that you all greatly enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, especially if you are a fellow Bucks believer. This is the place for you. I think that I've covered everything that I wanted to cover, so that's going to be it for me. Ladies and gentlemen, I will see you all again very soon.